Hi everyone, welcome to Connecting with Nature. We're here at the beautiful Friedrich Wilderness Park, and I'm Nicole with the San Antonio Parks and Recreation Natural Areas, and today we're talking about 3 trees in the natural areas: honey mesquite, ash juniper, and Linheimer hackberry. Let's head out onto the trails and take a look at the trees. Here we're looking at the honey mesquite at Friedrich Wilderness Park, and this tree typically grows in the south and into the southwest through California and Mexico. And you probably know this tree because a lot of people use it to smoke meats and for barbecues, so that's a popular tree. But at the same time, this has a lot of historic value and also a lot of wildlife value. It is an important tree, especially for some of the insects that use the nectar on the flowers, like honeybees. Honeybees produce a really sweet honey with the nectar used on these trees. And one of the other things that's important are these bean pods here that you see. You see these seed pods fall to the ground in the fall usually and turn brown, and they are a food source for cattle. And you can recognize it by the leaf shape. They sort of look like a wishbone shape. One of the other interesting things about this tree is that when San Antonio was first being built back in the 1800s, a lot of the streets were built out of honey mesquite wood. Those are just some of the interesting things about this tree and ways that you can identify this tree. So let's head out to the park and look for some other trees. We're standing here in front of the ash juniper tree. One of the easier ways to identify ash juniper is looking at the tree bark. It's a real shaggy tree bark, which is especially important for the golden cheek warbler. That's an endangered species that lives here in the park. And it's also an interesting tree because the male and the female tree, they're dioecious, meaning they're separate reproductive organs for the male and female tree. And it's the male tree that produces the pollen, and that makes you sneeze. And so we call that, every year we have a lot of folks in San Antonio who have cedar fever. And so that usually happens right around toward the end of winter. And then also at the same time is when those blueberries are formed on the female tree. Those are sort of a fleshy cone or a seed. This is also a larval host plant tree to the Reichert's blue butterfly. So lots of little interesting, important wildlife connections for this tree. Let's head on and take a look at the next tree. Here we're standing right in front of the Linheimer hackberry tree at Friedrich Park, and this tree is an important tree for the natural areas because it is the food source for many different types of birds, including mockingbirds and robins. And this has also sustained populations for thousands of years as a food source. So hackberries do have an important role in the natural areas. And you can easily tell it's a hackberry by looking at the bark of the tree. The bark of the tree is sort of a warty or real bumpy looking bark. And that's really an adaptation to help protect the tree from predators or protect the tree from large mammals like deer rubbing its antlers on the trunk. And so you can also look at the leaf and notice that the leaf is very rough, like sandpaper, and the leaves have a serrated edge. So thanks for joining us today, and I hope you learned something new about some trees in the natural areas. And when you have time, go out and visit your local park or just check out your neighborhood area and see what kind of trees you have. So bye, hope you had fun.